What's good, family? It's your man Zen Master for Pass the Joint Podcast here tonight with yet another episode of the Straight No Chaser Podcast featuring two of your three favorite Dallas Cowboy analysts in the world. Starting to my top left, none other than Joey Flosa, Italian American. To my right is your man D Brown, both tapping in from the great state of Tejas. I bet y'all didn't know
Yes,
I knew how to
indeed.
pronounce that, did you?
Well done. Well played.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
I spent a couple years in the desert Southwest. I know a little something about it.
There you go.
A little bit.
Hey, now just learn how to say Houston, baby.
Uh-oh.
Houston ain't Houston, it's Houston, homie.
It's always
Houston.
going to be H-Town to me, man. And the funny thing about it is my neighborhood back home is H-Town, Hornerstown. So we
That's
got a
what's up.
kinship
There you
that
go.
I don't want to let that go.
That's
H-Town
what's
to
up.
H-Town. So, fellas, we're here tonight after, let's say, a letdown, shall we call it,
Absolutely.
against the Minnesota Vikings.
Indeed.
And before we get your reactions, first of all, thanks to the viewers for tapping in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Make sure you leave a comment and chat and let us know where you're watching from tonight. We are going to start tonight with a couple clips by none other than Skip Bayless, everybody's favorite Dallas Cowboys analyst. Our man, Wilt Stumbling from Beantown, tapping in. Par usual, we thank you for your viewership.
Being
Wilt
time.
Stumbling.
Love to see it.
All right.
That's one of my old school homies from back in the day. So big up to him. But without further ado, fellas, I wanted to get your take on this introduction by Skip. I think it'll get your juices flowing. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
What was your reaction to the Cowboys' loss?
First of all, I would like to apologize to everyone watching for every nice thing I said about my Dallas Cowboys this year on this show. I take it all back.
Come on, Skip.
I'm just so
Come on,
glad
Skip.
it's over so I don't have to sweat and fret watching this team, rooting for this team game after game after game, and rolling on my carpet saying, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? I dare to continue to hang in with this team. It's just a fraudulent playoff contender. It turned out to be gutless, heartless, shameless.
Fellas, notice how he's wearing his colors today, but he ain't wearing that star.
So much for this miraculous defensive turnaround after Jerry went out and got Quentin Williams. Yes, happy days are here again. No, they're not. It was all smoke and all mirrors
Skip
built
is,
around Eber
polarizing
fraud, who
cat
has
here
to go. If
in
they
these
make one
parts.
move in the offseason, as you and I have agreed from the
Gotta
start,
go.
Eber fraud has to go because he and his defense were nothing but fraudulent.
There you have it. D. Brown, your take on Skip Bayless's take, especially about Matt Eberflus.
Well, man, that's interesting. In that, well, on the Eberflus blast, he's been a lightning rod forever here, and rightfully so. It kind of died down on me at the end, but it sounded as if that he was pretty adamant about Eberflus being out of here. Was that what I heard there at the end?
You definitely heard that. Yeah,
Okay.
he was on
Yes.
on
Yeah.
fire about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
he escaped
I
up
agree with it.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just on that note alone, man, I totally agree with him. This can't be, this can't go on, right? And I thought it was really telling when, during the live broadcast, and you see Shotty very clearly ask the question, "What the fuck are we doing?" That's not a good look. There's nothing about
Not
that
at
that's a good
all.
look, right?
Not
I mean,
at all.
and you got the heated glare, and just what's going on there, man. But part of what you need to fix about this defense, other than some holes that I know we'll talk about it probably a little bit later, but on the holes that you've got to fix, is how this thing's being coordinated, which is piss poor, and it's been that all year. Now, not necessarily giving Eberflus a pass, but man, I don't think he's done well with what he's had to work with, and it's really questionable. And I was given some type of optimism why Kenneth Murray is getting so many snaps.
Ooh, yeah. I saw
I
I
mean,
saw some breakdowns on Kenneth Murray that were not so favorable. Somebody pretty much flat out called him dumb. Like,
man, Zen, it's one thing to blow an assignment. Those things happen. Even with all pros, they'll blow an assignment again. And an incompetent NFL linebacker, you know, at the very essence of being at that level of linebacker is the ability to read a play, right? Now, you may lack deficiency in being able to, once you read it, and might not quite have the burst or the motor, in terms of just the physical ability to run to the play that you diagnose.
right.
But very seldom do you see at the NFL level. I've been watching this game a damn long time. Do you see a guy literally run the complete, run yourself completely out of the play? And this wasn't one of those oops moments. This has happened over and over and over again.
Shit
And
was
how
shameful.
is it a guy that's coordinating this defense? And what exacerbates the whole thing is that this dude is the guy making the defensive call. He's the middle linebacker. I've not, in all the years that I've been watching this game, bro, and I've seen pockets here and there of some bad linebacking play. It's the worst I've seen in a Cowboy uniform, and it's not even close.
By
I've never seen
far.
I've never seen somebody this play the position that poorly for
They
that
are
consistent,
non-existent at the second level.
right? That
Non-existent.
consistently, right? And so,
Yes.
with that, I mean, you know, Eberflus, I think should have made a call there, a long time ago, and going another route. I mean, because there has to be an option there, because if he gets hurt, somebody's going to fill in for him. I
Yeah.
say he should have gone to that option probably 7, 8 weeks ago, if not longer. But just the totality of poorly schemed defensive game plans, and poor decisions in this case in terms of personnel. So yeah, hell yeah,
Preach.
Eberflus needs, yeah, Eberflus,
Preach.
he's got to go, man, because again it all circles back, and this is where I landed before we throw it to Joey. I, it all circles back, man, to doing maximizing this window that you've got with QB1, right? And that's
Hell yes.
that
Damn
that that
right.
that that so those things have to happen. We got to have a competent defensive unit, and where does that competency start? Starts the defensive coordinator. And right now, it's not even ironic. It's just really emblematic. Is I guess is the best word. He is the symbol of incompetence that this defense has been. He's the face of it, and I think this game Sunday night was that was it.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Hey, shout out to the fam on Instagram. We see a whole lot of you popping in over there. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We can put on a hell of a show here. And also Sunday mornings before Cowboy games, 10 a.m. Cowboy Standard Time. You want to tune in for that. Joe Flo, your thoughts on Skip Bayless's first take out the gate. Fire Matt Eberflus. What say you, bro?
I mean, I think I share Skip's consternation. Excuse me. After the game. Like after the game, like if I would have had to do a show right after the game, man, it would have been a problem because I was fucking despondent. All right. So I share that with him. Okay. Now, in terms of the why and all that, DB touched on it. It's we have a Mike linebacker who's a single caller, and for some reason they like him at the mic, which is just insane to me. You would think that you say, all right, man, so you don't run your dumb ass out of a play. Let's put you short side or even wide side, right, on the outside. But nah, they're not going to do that, right? And for whatever reason, they just do not like Hawaiian punch, live foul, and they don't care very much for James. It's like they've seen all they need to see in their minds. Well, look, man, you can stick these guys out there. They can flop just like Murray, and then you can throw it back in our face and stick his monkey ass back out there and let him flop again. But, man, they invested capital in
Yeah.
Leofow as a third-round pick. You know,
Yeah.
and they invested capital in James, okay,
Yep.
as a 5th-round pick, okay? And so, you know, these guys are never going to progress because they're stuck with this Murray thing, this guy that they traded for, and it's insane. You look at where they go wrong at the linebacker position. And again, DB talked about this 3-4 years ago. I myself, and we can pull up the tape, said, hey, you're having problems stopping the run in terms of catch, getting to the boundary and inside. Play a 4-3 over. That is a 25 front. Okay, it's still 3 linebackers, but one of them is at the line of scrimmage standing up. And what it enables you to do is to domino the defensive lineman down and get favorable matchups. Okay, I like sticking Williams at end sometimes and dominoing the guys down and getting him a one-on-one shot. You know, I like that. But the thing is, the past 2 games, if you look at the early series of both of the 2 games, the film is there to see. Film over feelings, facts. Okay, they come out and it's almost like they say, "Hey, Eberflus, get that 52 going, get that 4-3 over going." Right? He gets it going, it works, and he says, "Well, now it's time to change it up." I mean, it is unbelievable. They go away from it, and not only do they go away from it, for some reason, if you go away from that and you go back to a standard, what they call a 4-3 cub, which is the 3 backers are, you know, they're off and equidistant. Okay, they call it a cub. All right, it's a Cowboy 4-3, right? Well, where the hell are they when guys break past the line of scrimmage? They're fucking gone. And where are they in pass coverage? Getting worked. Getting absolutely worked. And so, yes, I agree with DB 100%. It's personnel decisions and it is scheme. Something that we've been talking about forever. Now, if we go way, way back in time, and I'm going to land the plane like this, we go way, 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 way back in time, and DB can totally back me up on this. I guarantee it. The idea was, it don't matter if all the linebackers is 2 1/4 or 230. Get motherfuckers that can run and hit. You can get them anywhere, and they don't get second contracts. Okay, because we'll find more cats like that to funnel everybody to the mic and play angle drop coverage. Right? So it was a devaluing of linebackers. Okay, and so that apparently is what Jerry and the organization took from that and said, look, don't worry about drafting linebackers high. Now, they didn't draft Micah very high, and nobody knew he was a pass rusher. He was a stand-up guy at the time, okay? And they drafted Jalen Smith and Sean Lee, guys like that, in the 2nd round, and Carter, guys like that in the 2nd round. But we haven't seen anything like that recently, and they draft Leopold in the 3rd round. He starts off okay. You know, I think, DB, we like the guy. You know, we think that there's a little something
I think
there.
he's definitely needed more snaps. Yep.
And they don't play him. It's like they're pissed off at him, you know. And what's even worse, right? Same thing with James. What's even worse? Okay, well, bare minimum, these guys will buoy your special teams and be good in kick coverage. Well, that hadn't fucking happened. All right, we've seen it. That hasn't happened. And again, when the solution is there right in front of you, okay, like if you're this guy that says, well, you know, I'm a 4-3 zone coverage guy. And then you look up and 5-2 is working, that 25 front is working, fucking stay with it. It's like a running back, man. You give it to him, he averages 8-9 a clip. You keep giving him the motherfucker until he doesn't. Okay? And again, this is where we get to the analysis, paralysis by analysis. Okay? I'm mad at Eberflus. Everybody came to the game to see me coach. Nobody came to the game to see you coach. Your shit's not working. Okay? You can still be predominantly zone. Fine, we get that. But your problem is with the front. They come out like a house of fire, get pressure, get a turnover off of pressure. They blitz, and I'm not saying be blitz happy, but having the guys up front in that 5-2, you know, the 25 front, 4-3 over, all right, with a linebacker as the 5th guy, you can drop him if you need to, but certainly your line of scrimmage is more taken care of that way, and you just absolutely get away from it. And you got Murray to stand up 6 yards off the fucking ball, call his signals, and all he knows on the signals he calls is this is the one where I run completely out of the fucking play. That's my assignment.
Like a moron.
I haul ass out of the play, right? Like worse than that, man. And like I don't want to get personal, man, but a lot of times it's, and I don't. I respect the fact that he's made it to the NFL further than I'll ever make it, man. But it looks like cowardice sometimes. That's how bad it is. It looks like cowardice, afraid to hit the hole, because when these backs get past the line of scrimmage, oh, it's another 8 or 9 for sure. It's not that, well, he makes a lot of tackles, but at 5 yards down the field. No! There are no tackles being made.
You know, folks.
And cats are getting 9 yards down the field.
You know,
and
folks.
yes, man, it's on Eberflus. Yeah,
I'm
it's on Eberflus. They need better personnel, but it's on Eberflus.
You know, folks, I'm trolling tonight wearing a Miami Dolphins jacket. I'm a Steelers fan. And I want to make a point, because what Joey was saying about personnel and how Murray's being used and how one person can make a big difference just because of attitude. The Steelers have been playing.
The fucking Mike.
The Steelers have been playing this Broderick Jones character all season, who's a rookie, highly touted first-round draft pick, and he's been nothing but a failure. He got injured. They brought in the guy behind him. One game, everybody in Pittsburgh is talking about Dylan Cook.
Yep.
Everybody. And they are talking about how tangible it is, how visible it is. Broderick Jones is out of a starting job. He's not going to get that job back when he comes. So I understand how important those linemen in particular are. And a guy like Murray, who just seems to be honest with you, as a linebacker, he just seems to be dumb. Just dumb.
Lost.
And
Queen is still hogging out in Pittsburgh. I mean, damn.
Yeah, that's just the problem with Murray, and it can be fixed. I think if he's that talented of a player and he seems to be physically gifted as a player, he's a big, stud of a dude.
He can run. All that shit. Yeah, he can run.
Or just the wrong spot.
Put him at middle linebacker and tell him do nothing but here's your cone. Don't go outside. Just stay at whatever it takes. But
then they let that some bitch make the calls. Then he makes the calls. Right? And he's off and the calls are off.
We talked about defensive coordinators, in particular, firing yours. The one I'm sure you wish you could have right now is none other than Brian Flores, who seems to be the apple of everybody's eye around the NFL. And hey, Pittsburgh,
he should be a fucking head coach.
Pittsburgh, wink, wink. You need to make that man your next head coach. Should we part ways with Mike Tomlin? Oh, I didn't finish saying. I wanted to say, Mr. Joe Hayden. You probably won't see this. Joe Hayden of Joe and Debo, who played for the Steelers and the Browns, is on the show hosted by James Harrison every day. And I'm doing this so I can clip it out. Every day for the past couple weeks, I've been watching this show. And this nigga Joe Hayden shows up, sub this in Pittsburgh almost every fucking day. All right? Cleveland Browns gear, orange and brown, this color, that color. Everything, right? He morning with a University of Miami hat on. You ain't slick, motherfucker. You did not enjoy your time. You did not enjoy your time in Pittsburgh. I don't care where the fuck you went. You did not enjoy your time in Pittsburgh, and you've been subbed this in the Steelers every fucking day. Yesterday, he wears a Steelers jersey. You think we can let him have it? We did. Joe,
I'm sure.
Get that Cleveland Browns bullshit the fuck out of here. You're from the DMV. You ain't got no loyalty to that loser-ass organization. I'm from the Western Pennsylvania area. I'm biased. I admit that. But goddamn it, you on the show with James fucking Harrison. Don't nobody want to see that ugly orange and Browns bullshit every day.
And Pittsburgh revived his career. They revived his career. And he was very good in Pittsburgh.
Fuck Joe Hayden. Let's run the clip. We were talking about Brian Flores and his capabilities as a coordinator. Let's spin this clip real quick. Skip Bayless. Again, Skip Bayless talking about B-Flow.
Brian Flores. They just kept daring us. They kept playing cover zero. They'd line up 8 men across the front and just say, no, we're coming. Somebody's coming. You can't block us. My offensive line could not block them. Keep them off Dak Prescott. I've got the most dynamic receiving duo outside that you can have in the National Football League. And I kept saying, just throw it up. Just take the snap and throw it to one or the other because the corners can't stop either one of them. Not one time did we exploit Brian Flores' gambling, rambling, crashing defense. And we let J.J. McCarthy taunt us at home. We let him run the play fake naked boot score from the half-yard line and do the gritty.
Skip.
Come on. What are we doing? And I'm saying, just get. After he did that, I said, okay, that's enough. Are you going to show a little pride, a little bit of guts? No.
Yeah, there you have it. Joey, you are the X's and O's guy around here. And maybe you got a little bit over your skis on your last response with the X's and O's. But hopefully you heard what Skip Bayless said. What's your response to what he had to say there about what Brian Flores did to the Dallas Cowboys offense?
Hey, I appreciate the love, but my guy D Brown and Cliff, they're good X's and O's guys too. I'm super nerdy about it, but the fact of the matter is, all right, is that the things that you can hear Skip Bayless say, talking about throwing it up and things of that nature, that's just ridiculous. Okay, that's insane. The offense was competent enough. Okay, that's, again, if Pickens doesn't have big numbers, if CD's out there where you can trust, the CD's going to have good-ass numbers. All right, I guarantee that. All right, and if Pickens is fading, yeah, exactly. If CD can be counted on. All right, we know that this guy is an absolute. He is a pillar of what we're doing on offense. Okay, I mean again, the thing with Brian Flores, yes, man, anyone can see that the guy's a good coordinator, but he faces the same shit that Eberflus faces in terms of lack of quality personnel at certain places. Okay, and their thing is like their corners they're suspect. You know what I'm saying? They still got Harrison Smith, Harrison Smith plays a little bit more closer to the line nowadays. He even blitzes more now. So this ain't fucking freewheeling Harrison Smith anymore back there making up for mistakes. They strategically use him. And I get that. And Flores does do a good job, with that. And again, I feel like the Flores should be a head coach, in as much as, challenging the defense. Look, man, you get 26 points at home. If your defense is half-ass credible, you win the damn game. Okay? You win the game. And again, the way
J.J. McCarthy.
Hey, man, the way that listen, I said on the show before the show, I like J.J. McCarthy. All right? And I was proven correct. Okay? He can play. He's a rookie, essentially.
He can play.
All right? Don't trip and, he's trash. He's got to go. The kid can play, man. I watched him at Michigan for 2 years. I've seen plenty of Michigan games. I hate those bastards. All right? And I've seen plenty of their games. And I always thought J.J. like the team that won a national championship, J.J. McCarthy was the best player on that team. All due to Corum, who's getting his thing done with the Rams. I can dig it. J.J. McCarthy was the best player on that team. There is something there. When he rolls to his left.
He has a great character about him. That is undisputable.
Yeah, he can play.
And he has talent. He can move. That throw to the left where he threw halfway open. Look, as a quarterback, I wouldn't even have thrown that ball. He threw dude open, and Bland had him
off his back foot. Yeah,
that
was an impressive throw. That was Shedeur Sanders part 2.
Yes, rolling left and firing that bullet in there. That's the kind of spark that you need from a quarterback. I knew J.J. McCarthy could hurt us going in. Now, people see shit on social media.
He's got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson for crying out loud. I could hurt you with those guys.
I'm telling you, right? And the thing is, he had other guys that were, Hawkinson and other guys. You know what I'm saying? And what was that? I forgot the guy's name, man, but he got like a penalty on him. But the other receiver, not Addison and not Jefferson, but the other receiver, that's the cat that caught the touchdown. All right? Like, that guy was coming off for him, right? And again, in that, you look at the switch by Eberflus in terms of the scheme we're doing, no pressure. His corners are not going to be able to hold up without pressure. Bland is the best one of the bunch. All the other ones, man, you can throw them in a bag. Okay? I'm sorry, man. Caleb Carson, KP can't play. Sorry. Can't play. I'm sorry. Ravel, hey, he needs more time. I've seen enough there to realize that the physical ability that he has, he can play, but he's a rookie. He didn't even play as a senior at ECU. All that stuff's going to take a little time to develop. You got to stick with players in other positions like corner and left tackle, just like you do at quarterback. You got to give them a shot, all right? But at some point, you realize Caleb Carson, this guy can't play. He gets waxed deep, okay?
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to help that? Well, you help that by bringing pressure. And for whatever reason, they just decided to stop doing it. Man, I'm blitzing the hell out of McCarthy. I'm 5 up front every play. I'm making that sumbitch beat us. They held Jones and them in check enough, although they got a little bit going in the run game.
Yeah.
They held them in check enough to know, hey, man, they're not going to kill us. Okay, they're not going to rip off 80-yard plays. Why are there not more people in the box to mask that fucking secondary? All right, yeah, man, so it shows up later. Yeah, okay, well, people take advantage of it later. Fuck that. You're trying to get to the playoffs. You're trying to win now. This is a
Playoffs?
Vikings team that was 5-8. Vikings
Playoffs?
team that was 5-8 and very flawed. And yet, they waxed you. Okay? They rolled you. Once they got the lead, the shit was never in doubt for them. And that's a damn shame.
The
It's
Dallas
a damn
Cowboys.
shame. And
The Dallas
yeah, man,
Cowboys.
most likely, as you said, Zen, saying there's a chance, it's a 1%, less than 1% chance.
So
All
you're
right, but most
saying
likely,
there's a
man,
chance.
The playoff aspirations are over now, right?
I would
Because
say
you
that-
didn't fucking sell out.
Yeah, I'd say they
Eberflus.
got
You didn't sell out.
they got a snowball
Play that
chance in hell.
motherfucker. Hey,
They got a snowball
I'll
chance
land
in
it like
hell.
this. I'll land it like this. All right, you need to win out. All right, this is Game 7 of the fucking World Series, my man. Every fucking game. Get
Bro,
your fucking ace starter up out the bullpen if the starter ain't going well. Pull
Bro,
out
it's a
all the
wrap.
stops, man.
It's
Pull
a
out all the
wrap.
stops. Then when it's
It's a
over,
wrap.
it's over.
D
But
Brown.
He
D-
didn't do that.
D Brown.
Sir.
I'm not sure if you heard the clip or not. It seems like he had some technical difficulties, but
yeah.
basically Skip was praising Brian Flores' defense and what he was able to do against the Dallas Cowboys.
That
What-
gave
what-
up 26.
What's your take on how B-Flow managed to keep that, the third-ranked offense
Yeah.
in check, at least enough?
Yeah, I mean, he's well, first of all, he's a really good coordinator. So, what you see in the fundamental differences of a guy like Flores versus a guy like Eberflus is what all really good coordinators have in common, and that's game feel, right? Because you come in, you watch film, you practice, you coordinate the scheme predicated on what you see on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in practice. But that's not where that ends, right? Because once the game starts going, the really good ones have the ability to predicate it on how the game is going at the moment in game field, and then you make your adjustments predicated on what you see, at that point. Like, for example, if Murray's, running to the wrong spot, well, you get his ass the hell out of there and you run Leofau in there, and get somebody that's competent. Or, you understand that this is a rookie. Yes, he can play, but guess what? Most rookies that were fairly heralded, that when I'm talking about quarterbacks specifically,
Yeah.
and you don't pressure them and they're comfortable, then they're probably going to make plays against you.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy was comfortable. Dak Prescott was not, for the most part. And guess what? Because Brian Flores knew, well, number 4 can't be comfortable. He'll kill us, right? So,
To your point, if they'd have made him uncomfortable, your defense probably would have gotten, probably 2 more turnovers from it.
There's no doubt. I and certainly, or just force some bad plays where they just don't execute as clean as they
Some
did.
3 and outs, right?
That's correct. And so, That's that in and of itself is where you see a huge yet essential difference in a guy like Flores and a guy like Eberflus in that um, he just lacks the game feel. And again, I'm gonna reference this again as it relates to Eberflus, versus a more competent guy in Flores. I went back to see, typically when you have a guy, because Eberflus has been around a while. Naturally, he's been a head coach as well. But I went back to see, you know, where was that period or lightning in a bottle for him as a coordinator, where it's like, damn man, those Eberflus defenses are really special, and it's never been that.
How
Right?
is he getting jobs? Where what?
That's exactly. Now you're reading my mail.
Got,
That's exactly
got
it.
Cowboy job as the former head coach. They love that.
Yes. So, I
It's a
mean,
carousel.
and even
They
in
love
that,
that.
okay, and even to that point, Joe, big deal. I mean, he's nothing special there either. So, um, I mean, when you look at like the old heads, on either side of the ball, your North Turners, your Wade Phillips, um, certain guys and certain coordinators, you knew when those guys were at the helm, coordinating offense or defense, if it was underperforming the year before they got there, shit was going to change and change dramatically for the better. Well,
Yeah.
Brian Flores is
They
one of
made
those
an
guys, man.
impact.
Eberflus is quite the opposite, right? And we saw that played out on the field because this guy had to get a game plan. Look, I can't go out and shut that offense down, but I can make it uncomfortable and just enough where they can't get a consistency. Because if that offense gets comfortable and is consistent, they're gonna kick our ass. So you come in with the plan, and you make the adjustments and you push the buttons that you have to in game to make that happen to win that game. A baseball manager that I'm a big fan of, former Rangers manager Ron Washington. I'll never forget him saying during one of his press conferences, "You have to play the game that night, like whatever that situation is." So if that means playing small ball and we got to bump that thing over to win the game, that's what we do, right? I mean, if we got to do the squeeze play, that's what we do. Whatever you got to do to win that game, and the good coordinators have that, which is Brian Flores. The bad coordinators do not, which is Matt Eberflus, and I think they had a huge part in why the result was what it was Sunday night.
And there you have it, folks.
Absolutely. 100. Play the game that's on the field. Could be a
Yep.
shootout. Could be a close game. Could be weather affected. Play the game that's on the field. Early on, 52 is working. Stay with it. All right? You haven't had anything that consistently worked unless you were playing against bad teams, right? Or your offense totally stole and got the momentum and dominated like against Kansas City. All right? When you got problems, you got to make changes. And he did it, and it was almost like it was, cursory or perfunctory. He did it early on, and then did not stay with it. And it just blows my mind, man, that we're 3-4 years into this, into this podcast. We talked about playing when Big Rich was with us. We talked about playing a 4-3 over. All right, and that's scheme related as opposed to personnel. All right, you know what I'm saying? And he does it like, okay, I did that. Now let me get back to my shit, right? Which is completely predictable, and everybody has a field day with. Every single quarterback seems to have a coming out party, or they seem to have their high water game against Dallas this year. And that's just insane, man. That is just,
No,
we've seen it
not only is
before.
it insane, it's a fireable offense. That's what it
We've
is.
seen it before, man. When your defense can't stop anybody, man, you are screwed.
Be out.
Fireable offense.
Be out.
Yes, sir.
Folks, real quick, just real quick, how do you feel about Shotty before we move on to the next topic? Just real quick. DB?
How do we feel about Schottenheim?
Yeah.
Well, man, I like Schottenheim. I do. And he's shown me enough. The thing I look for in head coaches now is, has it been perfect? Absolutely not. But, overall through now, 14 games? I like what I've seen, and certainly enough to want to see more. Um, there's things that he clearly they're going to have to address, most notably on the defensive side of the ball. But I like, what I look for in head coaches is command, and team buy-in. Because in this, in well, it really in even eras past, but particularly now when these guys are making so much money,
Yeah.
and and what have you, when you have that innate ability to reach guys, when you give that innate ability to have your long money guys buy in, i.e. the Dak Prescotts, i.e. the CD Lambs, those guys. Um, that shows me something. And Cliff alluded to it even very early on in the season, and we were, in our private chats, that there was just something about the guy that was pretty redeeming in terms of, the messaging, how it was received, and even from the faces of your franchise. So, and you've seen that play out. Even though this has been just one really whacked out season in the totality of it, but you've seen some fight from this team in those games. I.e., I mean, you saw it in the opener against Philly. You saw it, in the shootout. In years past, that dagger that Russell Wilson, hit right there, the very late in the fourth quarter, and that shootout of that first Giants game, in days of old, Dallas teams, that's an L 100% of the time. They very calmly, nobody blinked. You didn't see, heads hanging. The body language of that team's like, hey man, let's go out. Shit, we got 30 something seconds. And what do? They go out and handle business. You know, Brandon Aubrey does this thing, and they win the football game, and we 21-0 against the Super Bowl champs. Right? That game's over in the McCarthy era. Over. It's over in the
Yep.
first quarter. It's done.
Yep.
So there's some redeeming qualities to Brian Schottenheimer. Um, and no, I didn't like some of the calls that he had around the goal line, say in the Denver game, and a couple of decisions. Again, coaches, because he is the offensive play caller. So coaches in that aspect, they too have off days, like players, but there's not a consistency there. Excuse me. I
Hmm.
just think that there's far more positives and far more to be positive about from this inaugural year from a rookie coach, and he's really kind of shown the poise, which I also think's been impressive, of expecting certain things to happen because he's been in the game, right? I mean, he's obviously a legacy guy with it being the son of the late great Marty Schottenheimer, but this is a guy that's seen some success, been in this game a long time, waited his turn, waited his shot, and I think he's off to a good start foundationally for not only this team but for fans to want to see more.
Joe Flo, thank you for that response, D Brown, first of all and
Yes, sir.
foremost. But Joe Flo, your real quick, 2 minutes or less, your take on Coach Schottenheimer's first season. You got a letter grade for him or a general feel on how you feel he's done so far this season?
I have been somewhat impressed, with his game management, and yes, I'm a stickler for clock management, timeouts, decisions to go for it, decisions to kick, and that he hasn't been perfect, okay, but what I'm seeing is that this is a guy that is clearly, all right, accepted the fact that Eberflus is going to run the defense. He turns and he asks, what the F is going on? Okay. Like we can look at, remember the Titans, and what did your boy Boone say? Hey, man, fix that defense, y'all. They score again. I'm taking over.
Right.
All right. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you got to be that guy. Right. What did Campbell do up in Detroit? Hey, man, I don't like the way that offense is rolling. All right. I'm stepping in. All right.
Yep.
Look,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to
Yep.
be on you anyway. Coordinators don't take W's and L's. That coordinator shit's for podcasts and fucking ESPN and social media. No one fucking really cares. In the end, your head coach is the one that takes W's and L's. And I'll be damned. But hey, man, hold up. Can we go back to 52, please? That shit was working. All right. He's got to step in and do it, or he needs a really good defensive coordinator. And as I have stated many a times, and I think DB might even second this, and I'm going to land it like this. I thought the guy should have been Al Harris.
Oh,
Okay.
1,000%.
I thought Al Harris,
The coordinator? Yes. Hell
yes, I
yes.
thought Al Harris should have been the defensive coordinator. He's there. He knows the
100%.
personnel. Eberflus is a former head coach that is really set in his ways, and we're seeing that now. Al Harris is there. He could take what they have and augment it. Okay. And again, be smart enough to see when something's working and sticking with it instead of getting cute and saying, well, we did the 5-2, cool, fine. Now let me go back to my shit to show that it really works. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem, man, with these coaches. They think people came to the game to see them coach. And, with Eberflus, the deficiencies are so glaring.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
That's what I'm talking about. The deficiencies are so glaring, man, there's no choice but to make a change. No choice. I'm sorry. No choice.
You got a letter grade for him real quick, Joe? Letter grade for Shotty.
Oh, for Schottenheimer. I'm going to give Schottenheimer a B-, okay, because of the record, all right? But I do respect what he's done in terms of game management, and there's not these glaring things where I say, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, what the hell are you doing, right? I mean, I see him playing it straight, okay? And again, most of that is really going to be determined and dictated by your offense. He's an offensive guy. I give him a B-, and that's a kind grade. These cowboy glasses are going to take a much more critical view of Oppenheimer going forward. You better know it, all right? Because this record's going to be what it is, and it's going to be like, hey, man, that's not good enough. So get the right guy to run that defense. Again, I'm throwing my fucking support behind Al Harris. Like DB was telling me, he's not a defensive coordinator now, right? So we can get him, right, DB?
Oh, yeah. No, he's not. He's a position coach.
But let's get him. Shit,
Passing
let's
game
get
coordinator.
him. Sign his ass now.
There you go. The Straight No
He can
Chaser
help that
crew.
back seven.
The Straight No Chaser crew has a target, and his name is Al Harris.
Al
yeah.
Harris.
I'd be all over Al Harris.
Give me Al Harris.
Watch your ass,
Now.
Al Harris. Watch your ass. Fellas, we got to move on to the next topic.
Sure.
None other than former Pittsburgh Steeler, Georgie Porgy Pickens, is under fire.
Spinnaker.
Hey, the last two games, we haven't seen much of Georgie. Under 40 yards, if I'm not mistaken, in both of the last two games.
Correct.
That's
What
correct.
say you, Joey? What say you about this?
Wide receiver, and I started out playing as a wide receiver, and DB played some wide receiver so he can accentuate this. It's the most dependent position in football.
Certainly is.
Period. There is no more dependent position than wide receiver. Okay, first you need the opportunities, but you need to get open to get the opportunities. Okay, apparently in these past couple games, Dak has felt like he had better options. We all know when CD went off the field against Detroit, that changed everything. Guys weren't as wide open. They could shift the coverage to Pickens. Fine, I get that. Okay, but from his standpoint, I'm giving him a bit of a pass because I know firsthand, and DB, you do too, wide receiver is just an ultra-dependent position, right?
Indeed.
So he gets the benefit of the doubt on that, all right? Again, if you had seen instances where he was getting the targets and the numbers were bad, okay, that's a different story, all right? But the targets have decreased dramatically with him. All right. And this is a guy like CD that you can throw passes to and get him going.
Underneath.
You even see that happening. Right. Now, again, that's all on the decider, the quarterback. That's the decider. All right. And yeah, man, you would like to say, okay, step up. We need a big win here. This is a shootout. We're going to fucking give up 34, obviously. So we need 35 to win. We need you to step up. He's got to get the targets in order for that to happen. Okay? And I haven't seen anything negative in terms of explosions or whatever. His reaction to Sherman, okay, he should have taken a high road on that. I get that. I understand. I understand that you're mad. All right. But I'm not going to hold that against him. All right. The problem is that we already hit, what do they say? Like when that asteroid was coming in Armageddon, and they got past the zero barrier, right? Oh shit! This asteroid's past the zero barrier.
The worst fucking movie ever, by the way. That movie was shit.
It was pretty bad.
Oh,
We
my
lost to Minnesota. That was fucking zero barrier, right there. Okay, so honestly, as much as I'm defending him now as it seems, these last, few games, honestly, man, he can light it up, and I could care fucking less because the zero barrier was broken by fucking Minnesota. All right, now it's almost a fucking foregone conclusion. It's a wrap. Okay, so yeah, man, you can clown now, but I'm still gonna look at it like, where were you? But again, dependent position. So much of this stuff really now seems academic. When you watch a football team and they're playing for next year, that's tough to watch.
Hey, Minnesota went out and played with pride this past week, so it can be done.
Yeah,
we saw them with nothing more to play for than let's get our quarterback and our team on track. And if you're one of those loser-ass teams in the NFL, this is not the time to hang your head and start thinking about Cancun as they do in the NBA right around March. What you need to start thinking about is let's win the last remaining games and get the ship right. Coaches need to be taking guys that they want to try out, so to speak, trying these guys out, giving them opportunities where they shouldn't or wouldn't get before, I should say. And I think it's time for the Dallas Cowboys to dive deep into their bag, into their personnel, and figure out who's who and what's what. Maybe you got to clean house and get one or two people out. Maybe you got to get 10 people out.
If you remember, right, when the Lakers had assembled that incredible team, when Del Harris was still there, right? Nick Van Exel was on that squad, Eldon Campbell, all those guys, Sabalos, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, they were getting together in a group and saying, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Because they had headed to the house. All right. So you saw when Phil Jackson came in, they made the necessary changes. Gone was Sabalos, in was Ori. Gone was Nick Van Exel, in was other guys. You nailed it, Zen.
On topic,
personnel changes.
Yeah,
personnel changes. Yes.
On topic with George Pickens, though, this is a guy who will start thinking about Cancun next week. So if I was Jerry and Stephen Jones, I'm watching his ass very closely for the next 3 weeks to see if I want to put more money up his pocket.
Right.
And I think that's a fact. I think they're going to. I think you're dead on.
If he checks out right now, fuck him. Let him go. He's not interested in winning. He's just interested in getting paid. And if you're stupid enough to check out right now and you're up for contract, you definitely don't deserve to stick around. One more thing on Pickens today, fellas.
If you pull back from it and he's got 1,600 yards and 15 TDs, that's going to look real good to another team in terms of what you sign him for. Those are huge numbers, and he can still reach that.
All I have to say to that is Antonio Brown, and we got another clip by Skip Bayless on George Pickens. Let's take a quick listen.
George Pickens. So last night, Chris Collinsworth said something that was profound to me and impactful because Chris Collinsworth, I don't know if you remember, once upon a time, he was a really good receiver in this league. He made 3 Pro Bowls in his first 3 years, played in a Super Bowl against Joe Montana. He was really good, 6'5", and could run. And he said late in the game that this is just me, he said, and I'm going to paraphrase it. He said, a receiver like George Pickens has to demand the football. Just with your body language, you have to attack the football and show the quarterback it's your football and you want the football and you'll get the football if you play with that kind of body language. I don't know if you've felt that way occasionally, but the point was, in the last 2 games, George Pickens, who is fabulously talented, we all get that, just didn't play with the body language of, I want the football. I'm going to get open and you're going to throw me the football. Last night, it just screamed for get open and say, I want the football because they can't cover me one-on-one. Because there's a whole lot of one-on-one going on that should have been exploited. So I liked what Chris Collinsworth said because George Pickens is just better than that. That's just me.
Well, so have we...
So what Skip is saying is that he noticed Pickens' body language was passive in that game against the Vikings, that a number 1 receiver, a superstar receiver's body language should be more demanding. It should project, give me Keyshawn Johnson. Give me the damn ball.
Yes, sir.
You never had a shortage of that with guys like Keyshawn Johnson. DB, is there a shortage of that with George Pickens?
I've seen a little bit of it. It's concerning. I saw it. I actually saw a little evidence of it, and the film is what it is. In the Detroit game. So it's a totality of things. Are you, are you just? Does he have scintillating talent? No question. But part of being that, and that's why I readily push back on two things. One is that teams are just going to up and just readily throw, a max salary at this dude because of his talent. Um, you know, I think that and I know where you are with Mike Tomlin, but there's a lot of
All it
cachet.
takes is one.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay, but be that as it may, um, you know, that to Zen's earlier point, that if he demonstrates over these next few weeks that that he can check out, right, then that may not be the move for them. Right now, I personally I would like to see him here. I hope he does his thing, balls out the last 3 games, and then there's a conversation there. But it is something to be mindful of. And the point I was going to make about Pittsburgh and Tomlin is that Mike Tomlin is one of the more revered coaches in all of football and has been for 2 decades now. Um, and that organization, Pittsburgh, I'm talking about, that's an organization that has shown probably more so than just about any other franchise in the NFL that when they lock in on their guys are there, right? And they stay. I mean, hell, I'm damn near 60 years old, and they've had 3 head coaches in my lifetime. So there you go. That's an organization that represents stability and what have you, and they identify guys that are that fit their culture. So it was interesting to see how this thing was going to play out in Dallas. There was certain risk bringing him in. Does that third round pick like he was worth it? Hell yeah, it does. But again, the stands has to finish itself out. I'm hopeful that this little bubble, if you will, with Detroit and a little bit in Detroit, I think a little bit of carryover in the Minnesota game, and it's just like I pointed out last week. He seems like, because we're getting to know him as fans, because we're seeing him up close every week. He seems like one of these guys from the mental standpoint that you want to get him going early so that the carryover, so you can mitigate with the carryover.
Absolutely,
right?
You can't let him fall asleep.
Right. So that's one of those, and I think I made the mention, man. I mean, I think in whatever your scripted first 15 are, or whatever the case may be, you're probably looking at a couple of slants to him, where he breaks a tackle, makes a guy miss, makes a first down. You get on those nice deep ends, and let him make a play or whatever. But let him touch the ball. Let him get into it early.
Hey, what are your favorite plays?
Did you see?
Right.
What's your
Did
favorite?
you see how far they were off
run your
of him?
5 favorite plays, or
Right.
5 of your 10 randomly. How about that?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so where I'll finish that is, he's certainly
D Brown certainly popped.
he's certainly done a lot
Back in.
to merit, looking at this thing out, finishing the deal. But it's just, we're also going to keep an eye out for the crash out, and that's where I landed.
Listen, hey, real quick, and I want to throw it to Zen. All right, Zen, you had him in Pittsburgh.
Have you guys?
All right, you had him in Pittsburgh, Zen. Tell us what the deal was.
He's just immature.
Tell us what was the deal.
He's just immature. He checks out mentally. He gets an attitude if he doesn't get the ball enough. He's just goofy. He does goofy shit like throws the ball into the stands when he's. I mean, just immature, right? He will grow up, but honestly, I believe that Mike Tomlin was so shell shocked from Antonio Brown that he will not tolerate a wide receiver like that ever again.
And they got off AB at the right time. That's been proven.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And this was the best receiver in the NFL for a minute.
Oh, he
Can't
was
take nothing
for
away from
about
AB.
3 seasons.
He was the
About
best.
3 seasons. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. But
And you can't. That's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm
no, but
saying?
he
But
was a
like,
knucklehead. He was a
but like,
knucklehead, and
but
then
hey, but like Branch Rickey said, better to
Mhm.
trade a player too early than to wait
Yeah.
too long. Right? And I respect the hell out of that, and I respect the hell out of Tomlin, man. There's no nonsense. The Cowboys put up with extra. And sometimes the shit works out. Okay? Dion,
I mean,
that shit for sure worked out.
that's
It's just it doesn't
perfect
every
point.
time.
Perfect point, Joey. The Dallas Cowboys, known for the White House, known for '88, known for all the shenanigans. If not there, where? Does this make him more of a cowboy?
It's the inverse of the Raiders. All right? It's like the Raiders, but it's the inverse of it. Well, this guy was a
It's fucking
goof,
right.
an obvious goof. But you know what? We bring him here. This whole thing's a circus. He could be fine here. You know what I'm saying? And in this case, as DB said, yes, man, the trade was absolutely worth it. It was a good trade. You're going to pull back and look at his numbers and say, man, those are fine number 2 receiver numbers. Those are great.
Yeah,
That's what you want out of a number 2. About 75 catches, about 1,000 yards, 9 to 10 touchdowns. Man, that's what you're looking for, because the cat on the other side is going to catch 110 balls, all right, for
Pause.
12, 13 touchdowns. Now your tight end's going to be more open. It is a reflective domino type effect, but the thing is that again, I will say it's a dependent position, okay? But yeah, man, it's again, but so much of that, and I'm going to say this before I land the plane, so much of that falls to the decider, all right? And what you guys are talking about, influencing the decider by saying, look, man, get it to me. I can't do nothing without it. And I know DB, all right, I know you watch the game, obviously, as you watch every game. Did you see how far off of him they were playing? So many times that inside release was there. They didn't do any hookups. They did very few slants. So what's really going on? Now, when he lost CD against Detroit, okay, man, coverage changed. Fine, man, we'll give you a pass on that. All right. But CD was out there. Okay. And so,
Fellas,
when
I'll
they
be right
roll
back.
coverage to CD, and they say, we're not going to let him beat you, this is your time to shine. All right. This is your time to shine. Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen for whatever reason. But I think DB will back me up on this. When it's like that, the blemishes and the scars show, and all of the faults show as to why you are not a clear number 1 guy.
Yeah. And I've
We're
said that from
seeing
the beginning. Yeah. Is that was the point I was getting into when I started my earlier point. I said, one of the things I pushed back on, when he had the really good stretch when CD was out, and even after he came back,
and then they want to double him a number 1 guy.
Right, and then
After that stretch,
I pushed back on that immediately.
Well, you said from jump, he's not the number 1 guy, which he wasn't.
And he's not, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he can
No,
be one hell.
no, there's not.
So
look at Devontae Smith in Philadelphia. Not thought to be the number 1 guy. Got a good money deal. Now he is the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
All right. But he had to play to his paper to stick around and get that opportunity.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a really, really intriguing conversation, in the offseason.
Oh my God.
Especially
Yes, preach.
if he goes, and let's say over these last 3 games, and he hangs 250 yards, and sees the end zone another 4 or 5 times, which could easily happen with this guy. So
those are number 1 numbers.
Right. And so, but I think the sell job for the organization, outside of the money figure, but the sell job is, he could go somewhere, and there may be somebody out there they're willing to, pay him the, number 1 money, i.e., back in the day, the Alvin Harper deal, right?
Tennessee with Cam Ward.
Yeah, and then and then you f around and find out, you know, that
For real.
it's a different deal when you're the guy that's central in the game plan. That's what made Michael Irvin great. That's what made Jerry Rice great. That's what made a Hines Ward great. You know, I mean, it's a different deal. That's what makes CeeDee Lamb great.
Teams
That
are
it's a
game
different.
planning for you.
Exactly right. And when you're the game plan guy, right, week in and week out, year in and year out, and you produce,
And you
you
still
know,
bust ass.
the topic of the offensive discussion is Justin Jefferson when you play the Vikings. You know, it's Jamar Chase when you play in the Bengals, and those guys still like go out and
Preach.
get it done. So
Motherfuckers knew what Michael Jordan was
Preach.
going to do. They just couldn't stop
right.
him.
So those are the
Preach.
things from a fan perspective, because fans for the most part, are so the greatest thing I ever saw was 5 minutes ago, and not understanding the nuance that goes into being great, and the one word attached to greatness to the athlete in any sport is consistency, right? It's consistency when the game plan is on you. So, but when you've got that complimentary piece in my sell job, if I'm the Cowboys, um, to George Pickens, other than the compensation, is, hey man, look, you're gonna have an opportunity. It says, man, you and CD, with number 4 throwing you the ball, Jake in the middle of the field, opportunities are going to be there for you to hang these numbers and get this paper, and we fix this defense. Now we're legitimately contending, and you can be a huge part of that. That's my sell, and I think it's a good sell because you know I don't know that he'll go to a situation where a team that can pay that kind of flow that he'll command, and he'll have a better quarterback than he's got one right now. He's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league throwing the ball to him. So,
And that commitment to the run game helps.
exactly.
Commitment to
So,
the run game
you
will
know,
help him.
Shout out to
everybody,
Javonte Williams.
yeah, everybody,
For sure.
yeah,
No
yeah,
doubt.
everybody that matters on that defense, the Cowboys, the offense is under contract. I'm selling that. Brandon Aubrey, Javonte Williams, and
Yes,
and
sir.
and
Preach, brother. Preach.
yeah, Javonte Williams, Brandon Aubrey, and George Pickens are the 3 free agents. Everybody else is under contract. Lipkin's under contract. We know Dak's under contract. CD's under contract. Um, um, Jake's under contract.
And you're going to have an opportunity
The
to draft a
offensive
runner.
lineman, Tyler Smith's been extended. The offensive lineman under contract. He may make a move with Terrence Steele, but
What more could you ask?
but these young guys are still on their rookie deals. So it's a really perfect storm type of setup if Pickens, should he want to roll that. Now, ultimately, that's going to be he and his agent's decision. But if you've got some strong comp and you sell what I just put out there, then I think they have an excellent chance of keeping him. And then now you talk about offense over the next 3 years, that year in and year out is going to be a top 3 to top 4 offense. Fix that defense, get Aubrey signed. Look, the punter's under contract. Now you're ready to rock. So we'll see what happens.
I think
His
there's going to be 3
agent is
words
Micah-
before you
his
cook,
agent's
Joe.
Micah Parsons' agent.
Before you cook, Joe, I think there's going to be 3 words for this particular situation with George Pickens, and that is incentive-laden contract. Joey.
No doubt.
His agent is the guy that's
David
the agent
Mulligata.
for Parsons.
Yeah, David Mulligata. Yeah.
That's the guy that's the agent for Parsons. And the guy has built a reputation on getting the most for his client. Okay? It's
You
like
got some Scott
Eugene
Morris to him.
it's like Eugene Parker, someone like that, man. These guys, Eugene Parker and the Lee Steinbergs of the world, man, they built a reputation
Jerry
on
Maguire.
getting max value for their clients, right? And that's the thing. And I think when you pull back and look at it, he's going to have his numbers to throw out there, and he's going to say, no, I need a big bag, even though, with what D. Brown is saying, the selling points are awesome. Hey, look, man, take 27 here, all right? We got a good running game. We got a good tight end. We got continuity in the offensive line, which we have invested heavily in. And we've got the guy taking snaps that's going to find you if you're open. And CD is going to help you get open. And that run game is going to help you get open. You go to Tennessee, all right, it's like, okay, who's on the other side? Who's the tight end? I know they still got Pollard at running back. He's doing a great job, by the way. Much respect to Pollard for the job that he's doing. But again, where is the help? Cam Ward, you don't know. Love his talent. He's a Texas guy. This poor kid played in the wing T in high school and parlayed it into being starting quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. God love him. But hey, man, you want to sit through that growth and that development, or do you want a proven guy, as DB said? You want a proven offense, all right? Their offense is fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. You can win with it. We know what's needed.
Hell yeah.
All right. And again, when you're a Dallas Cowboy, you are more high profile. There are many, many more opportunities for, advertising deals and things of that nature.
Marketing deals,
right?
no doubt.
Off the field stuff, you're not going to have that opportunity in Tennessee or Cleveland. Okay. You're just not going to have that same opportunity, right? If they, as DB said, the selling points are convince him of the sound offense around him, convince him of the opportunities to make a stack of cash and live in Dallas, which me and DB live here. We can tell you it's a great place to live. These are good selling points. Again, even with that, if you get him at a good cap-friendly, team-friendly deal, somewhat, $27 million is $27 million. All right. So just how cap-friendly is that? Well, it's $27 million.
It's all about the guarantee flow, though. The NFL math,
incentive
the way
laden
NFL
contract
math works. When the NFL math works, you give them the bag up front, right, and you spread that out over the deal. There's your cap deal. And to Zen's point, so the roster bonuses and all that deal, because most of the guarantees in NFL contracts aren't guarantees until they actually pay you, right? So you can modify a lot of that with roster bonuses and that deal. And I like Zen's point about the incentive laden piece, and I would do exactly that. Pay him $50 million up front, spread it out over 4 years.
Again, it comes down to ego.
And if your ass can't swim, you bound to drizzle.
Yeah, I mean, you take some risk because he's damn sure going to command a big upfront back, so a front bag. So there's the risk there. But in terms of long salary, per year, that you're actually paying out with the way the NFL math works. Now, then, just for you and those watching, I'm cold blooded with that cap shit. I was actually an agent. Trainee, if you will, under my man, the late great Albert Elias, Elias Management Group, who heard of him. Yeah. So I was basically this guy. He's an LSU guy. Played golf. LSU unfortunately died of sleep at 42 years old. He's type 1 diabetic.
Rest in peace.
Yep. And actually he was an absolute gem with the New England Patriots because we had like 5 guys on those rosters when they got good. Jarvis Green being one of the most noted ones. So that math in the NFL is a trip, and Dallas has some opportunities with some guys to make that funny NFL math work for them on this picking situation. But I love your input with regard to the incentive laden piece. You take a little bit of a risk with the upfront bag. That's the part that counts against the cap. But what you don't do is you don't commit a lot of salary, right, over years 2, 3, and 4 to the deal. So that's where you commit, you take some of that sting on roster bonus and what have you. And if he's a good citizen, right, and he's on the books for $10 million in year 3, right, then you convert some of that to bonus, right? So you can spread that out so you can keep signing some more guys, which they're likely going to do this year, convert some guys to bonus to help his conversation. So it's going to be a really, really, really interesting watch with him after these 3 games are over with. And because, that will be the topic around here, him and Eberflus, until something happens with both of them.
Yeah, agreed.
And if I could just add this, what DB said, the big salaries, when you see these contracts with the big salaries, and DB will back me up on this, when you got a big salary and the smaller guaranteed, that's when your ass can be cut, all right, with minimal impact. So if you're able to structure it that way, as DB said, right, where you fatten up the salaries on a kind of a rising scale, right, with the guaranteed in there, because now guys are getting such a massive percentage guaranteed, right? It's you look at these contracts now. It's the guarantees, and of course you could thank the Deshaun Watson contract for that. The massive guarantees are what that seems to be the big number that people would look at. If y'all remember real quick, back in the day when San Francisco started circumventing the cap, everybody got a 7-year deal. Everybody got a 7-year deal. And the bonus was the thing, right? Well, then they said, all right, let's stagger the bonus and create other bonuses along the way. And they see that, hey, that's guaranteed. And that's really the total value when they pull back and look at it is going to be that guaranteed money, right? Because they always say when it says, Cutter, you got 110 million, 70 guaranteed, right?
Yep.
The guaranteed is what you're going to stick with, and that's what you're going to see.
I think what you do,
All
Joe,
right.
is I think you sit that young man down with his agent. If you're Stephen Jones, and you say, look, you got let go from Pittsburgh. Let's keep it real. You had an attitude problem in Pittsburgh, and you ain't got to use the words I'm using. I'm sure they'll be more tactful, right? So
for a third-round pick, and a lot of third-round picks don't even play.
You got let go. You have shown a little bit of the same behavior here in Dallas that kind of got you let go in Pittsburgh. This is a contract year, and you're still showing some signs of immaturity. But look, we believe in your talent, and we believe that you will mature as a person. Do you also agree with that? And if he agrees with that, and you say, okay, then you should also understand that you are a risk for the next couple years until you chill the fuck out. So we're going to give you a bag that you can live with, or you can go sit down there and hope Cam Ward finds your ass, or hope Michael Penix Jr. finds your ass, or hope some sorry bum in Cleveland can find your ass. Because that's what you're going to, that's the only big ass bag you're going to get outside. This is the Dallas motherfucking Cowboys. You will never have better marketing opportunities in the NFL, any fucking where. Take it or leave it.
Biggest brand in the world.
And with their caps, and with their cap situations, the teams that you just mentioned, great trio of teams that you mentioned, by the way, Zen. Atlanta, Cleveland, and Tennessee. They will cut your monkey ass early.
True.
Fuck the guarantees. If they see it's not working, they'll cut your ass early because they can absorb it.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are a lot less likely to cut your ass early with a big cap number because they got other big cap numbers.
Yeah. And given the history and culture that we mentioned earlier, we spoke about the Cowboys' history and culture, it fits right in. But, fellas, before we get going tonight, I got one more clip for you to review, a very short one, 28 seconds long. Seems to be breaking news. It seems like it's not clear, and I really definitely want to get your reaction to what Skip had to say about your man, Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs, he said he was ready to go last night, and they sent him home again. They sent him home again. They just said, nope, we're done with you because you quit on us. You didn't participate in practice. You didn't do your off-season. Yeah, I know. I got it. But this is a troubled, turbulent football team that met a fitting end last night. I'm happy that they are out of sight and out of mind. Thank you very much.
Damn Skippy or damn Skippy?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Damn Skippy. Joey?
No, I saw the clip. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, again, man, what are you going to base your decisions on going forward? That's what it all comes down to. What are you going to base your decisions on going forward? Everything that DB laid out in terms of selling points, these are legitimate selling points. Okay? Again, we've covered all the cap stuff and everything with that. How are you going to look at it going forward? All right, again, I agree with DB 100%, man. Get that smaller deal. And yes, to a lesser extent, I agree with you, Zen, in terms of incentives. He's only going to take so many of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to give him a big enough bag to make him happy.
Yes, absolutely. No, but the fact of the matter is, you can legitimately project long-term success as much as anybody else can. I mean, we all know that can get hurt. All right, but yeah, man, go play with Penix. Go play with whoever Tennessee has. Look, man, if the Houston Texans could get off the Deshaun Watson contract, They gave him a massive bag, and I love watching that press conference because Deshaun was very humble in that, very
Mm-hmm.
humble. And I was like, "This is great. This young man, this is fantastic, and he's an incredible talent. This is
Mm-hmm.
great." What the fuck happened? A year later, they were off his ass. Screw cap implications. Crappy teams can do that. He needs to know that. All right. And yeah, man, he needs to take a little bit less in terms of fitting into the cap and that. But look, make no mistake about it. He's going to be a big cap hit no matter what. So, yes, as DB said, it's an intriguing story, the most intriguing story going into the offseason, right? Because let's look at it this way as I land the plane. He could change your offense if he's around. Just having the guy can change your offense. You're out wide on both sides, handling business with a great tight end, a solid run game, and a commitment to the run game, and a veteran quarterback. He can change your offense and continuity, all right, by staying with Dak. It's going to do nothing but help him. He's got to be convinced that the value of his contract with the Cowboys will be more because of off-field stuff and the high-profile nature of it and the continuity of it. Now, if it's just, hey, man, sign me where they give me the biggest bag, he's gone.
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. I think he's going to be smarter than that, Joey. I really do. At least I hope so.
What has he shown you? You said he was immature. What has he shown you to lead you to believe, Zen, that he's going to all of a sudden be smarter than that?
I'll give you a
Just tell me.
example. I'll give you a for example. When I came out of the Army, I was headed for Signal Corporation in Phoenix, Arizona to work in insurance, which is the exact same industry I left before I went in the Army, which was disappointing. And then Intel Corporation called. Intel Corporation could have told me, hey, we want to hire you, but the assignment's in Timbuktu. I'd have went to motherfucking 2, right? Because, no, it's the prestige that came with being with that company.
Yeah, I
Right?
get it.
I spent 10 years there underpaid, mind you, underpaid. But the prestige of having 10 years in that corporation on my resume is
100%.
irreplaceable. Same thing with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a terrific point. That's a terrific point.
That's smart, Zen.
Yeah, terrific point.
You're smarter than you look,
Pickens-
Zen.
If your Pickens or Diggs, you need to try to get right. Jerry Jones ain't gonna live forever. Steven's sitting there like, damn, Daddy. I mean, I love you, but damn.
Man,
Damn.
can I weigh in on
Like
the
you're
Diggs thing?
waiting for him. Yeah, you're waiting for him to go Commodus on fucking Maximus and Gladiator and choke
There
him
you
out.
Hey, I got so much empathy for King Charles because I know he was like, when will this motherfucker die?
Right. Right.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting 70 years to become king. I mean, I love you, Mom, but shit.
Yeah. That on that Diggs front, man. So that too is going to be a really interesting conversation because Diggs has a very, very, very heavy contract, right? And so there's going to be some interesting deal there as to what they do. I don't think he's going to play again in a Dallas uniform. That is my gut. How they handle it is where the intrigue comes, and there's one of two ways they can do this. They can just move off of it, i.e., like a Russell Wilson, take the hit, in 1 year and be done with it, because his cap figure is real tough. Or they could designate him a post June 1st cut, and you split that hit over the 2 years, because I think his cap hit is like 35 million next year, right? Yeah.
Chunk.
So
That's a
He
chunk.
ain't gonna play at that. He will not play at
yeah.
that hit.
So and in terms of now, you could get some absorption and some relief if you're the Cowboys if somebody trades for him, because he's only in year 2 of his extended deal. I don't know what that trade value looks like now for him.
Maybe he wants to go play with his brother.
It's
Coming,
none.
coming off that end.
He has zero trade value.
I don't know that there's zero, Joey. I don't. I think it's very late round 0 where they won't trade for him at all. I don't know that that's the case. Now, I think it might be minimized. Not only that he's probably still got some ability, which I'm sure he does, But what probably makes your point
And
closer to
that helps
true.
your cap. Yeah, if you can
Yeah,
trade him, it helps your cap as opposed to cutting him. Yeah.
right. What probably makes your point closer to true is his salary. Because if you're trading for him, then you're taking on that deal, right? You're taking on that money. So it's going to be real interesting. I think they're going to decide on how they want to take the hit, right? Because I don't think you'll get a team to take on the remaining years of that salary. But man, what a sad situation, just from what that potential was before these injuries started happening. And then to Skip's point, and I don't really agree with Skip Bayless a lot, but to quote my dearly departed grandma, he tore his drawers in the offseason. Um, and with not
And you're not,
rehabbing here. We're not rehabbing here. And,
and
and I made that point to some people beforehand. They were like, well, man, what's the big deal? I have to remind people all the time. Yeah, these athletes get a lot of notoriety, they get a lot of ink, and they get a lot of money. But guess what? They're still employees.
Yeah.
They're still employees. They do not
Employees
write
who
their
get
own
hurt
checks.
for a living.
They do
and
not
that's
pay
that,
themselves.
And
if-
unlike your
look,
job, they get hurt at work every day.
right.
that
And-
relationship. Yeah. The
and
relationship.
if the guy
critical.
writing the check wants to, knowing that you're having that surgery that they're paying for, right? If he wants to see if he wants to see you in the building every day, when he's, because you certainly want every Tuesday when players get paid, and make sure you get that direct deposit slip, then you damn well better have your ass rehabbing where they want you to rehab. It's called being an employee. It's called falling in line. So when you didn't do that, and oh, by the way, the language in this contract allows us to tax you $500,000 because because you didn't comply. I think that relationship was fractured for good right then and there.
Let me guess. Was he? Let me
And
guess.
they
Was he
did
want?
that.
Was he trying to hang out with his brother and Cardi B?
Now that's
man,
as good a guess as any.
I
And
bet that's what the fuck was going on.
I probably would have been like in the front of the boat, just to watch that thing jiggle. But that's a whole nother show. So
Yeah, because Stephon's living his best life. You got to
his best
catch
life,
up, bro.
his best
And-
life, no doubt. Big Brother's living his best life. But as it relates to the Cowboys, I think that was the death knell in how the rehab thing, though, because again, this is severe. This is major injury number 2, and you're not in the building rehabbing. That's at the end of it. That's bad business on Trayvon Diggs' part. That's very bad business.
They did it.
I think that relationship
They
is
did
over
it
with right then.
publicly, they did it publicly with the $500,000 thing, and that wasn't enough of a slap. And look, you didn't use him when the asteroid was at fucking zero barrier.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Why in the hell are you going to use him now? You're going to stick to your petty guns. All right. This guy
Unless
could
you
have
ride.
Could
Could they ride it out, Joey? Could they ride it? Could they let him get healthy and come back next year and ride it out?
Nope, not now. Because he said he was healthy and you needed the help and you didn't try him. Let him go out there for one game and say, one play. Let him go out there and say, oh shit, man, I'm not right. Okay, fine. We tried you. All right, this guy had 11 picks for you one year. Okay? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, you're looking for help along the back line. You got this guy in your system that did it before. Shit. Let's see if we can recreate it. All right. And I saw enough of him when he was healthy. All right. This year in a few isolated plays that, like, okay, he still breaks on the ball. All right. Let's see what happens. But nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to trot Caleb Carson out there so he can get burned on a 60-yard fucking play. I mean, unbelievable. You're not going to shoot every bullet in your gun, but you're the gunslinger.
I'm still trying to figure out where Trayvon went wrong, other than saying that he might have been healthy when he wasn't ready, which players will tend to rush back if they feel pressure. But
And he was a limited participant in practice. And I wanted to take not totally double advocate.
Steven is pissed at him. Steven's mad at him. You can see it when he talked about him the whole year. You're sunk, man, as far as the Cowboys go.
Yeah,
I think he's done. And here they are.
I think he fractured that relationship in the summer, to be honest with you.
I mean, here they are. They need help. All right? Enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Minnesota Vikings were your enemy. I got this guy. Maybe he could fucking help. You're going to tell me, oh, okay, as opposed to all the other cats, the Bridgeses and the Carsons and these other fucking idiots they ran out there. You're gonna say, let's just not try a former All-Pro, a former guy that was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Let's not even fucking try him because we're mad about $500,000 or some bonus, and you slapped him down in public about it. Oh, we took away the bonus. We were righteous in doing that. You did all this shit, and now you really got to fucking stick to it to the detriment of your football team. I said this 4 years ago on this very show. So many times, football decisions are made by the Cowboys, and they involve non-football shit. And this is what we're looking at. I cannot be the only one that thinks, hey, trot him out there against Minnesota. You're getting fucking worked. McCarthy is working you, and it ain't even Jefferson that's doing it. Trot his ass out there and see what happens. Again, man, this is just one of those things that really gets me fucking amped up about Jerry. And why after all these losses, and I'll land a plane like this, my hatred for Jerry Jones grows. He's an employee, as DB said, and he made the decision. DB nailed it. He's an employee. That's right, boy. You're an employee. You do what we fucking say.
Well, I'll tell you
Jesus,
who ain't
the guy can help you. The guy can help you. Why not
I'll tell
try?
you who ain't an employee. Geritol, as I like to call him, Geritol Jones, is not an employee. He ain't been an employee his entire damn life. He is the boss of the Dallas Cowboys, and he might as well be the fucking commissioner. The most powerful man in sports in America. Hands down.
And the employees are plebes. They're what they call back in the Roman days plebes.
Hey.
Which a plebe is fucking useless.
Plebiscites, right? So
yes.
I mean, if you want to play in the king's kingdom, it comes with pittance to the king. It's that simple when it comes to Dallas unless one of those men, the father or the son, and I don't know if there's a Holy Spirit flying around in Dallas, but until that power dissipates in Dallas, that family is going to make those shots, and if you want to be a part of their kingdom, you're going to have to live with some consequences. Folks,
you're right. You're dead on. You're dead on in that. You're dead on in that. I'm going to quote my man from Game of Thrones. Fuck the king and fuck this. All right? My man, the Hound.
There you have
McGregor.
it. There you have it. And
I'm out.
And there you have this particular episode of Straight No Chaser, the Straight No Chaser podcast, powered by Hoop Jargon Media. Don't forget to head over to @HoopJargon on YouTube, @HoopJargon on Instagram. Instagram, thank you so much. It's
put on.
Man, we got a ton of viewers tonight in IG. I really appreciate that. I wish we could see some more activity out of YouTube and X and Twitch, but we will definitely continue to grow on those platforms. I want to thank my co-host tonight, OG analyst D Brown, and to my lower Italian-American Joey Flosa, both expert Dallas Cowboys analysts. These guys are the best in the business. We watch other Cowboys media. We watch them intently. You might be picking up some clues. That we're not going to know that. We want them to know that. This is Straight No Chaser. Fellas, to you.
Appreciate you, man.
We out.
We out. Peace. Go Cowboys.